So, this is my digital electronics final project. I decided to make a water fountain controlled by audio. So as you can see in the still on the right, there's the contraption, which consists of 2 water basins, a plastic stool, a voltage-controlled valve, and a fish tank pump on the bottom. My original vision for the project was to have a circular flowing fountain, so when a certain peak of audio was reached and at a certain frequency, so let's say the C major scale, starting at 264 hertz, as you increment up through the C major scale, the water stream from the pump on the down below would increase in amount of pressure put on the water, so the water stream would gradually increase in height out of the top as the frequency increased. And if the peak reached a certain threshold, the valve would actually open up and then water would drop through the top basin back to the bottom. So if you played a loud enough C major scale for a long period of time, it would just be a circulating fountain that would be endless. As some may know, I had a hard time actually achieving that goal, so I decided to change course and separate the function of the valve and the pump. So when the frequency is below 500 hertz, the pump starts to pump up water to the top basin from the bottom basin, and then once the frequency reaches 1000 hertz, then the pump shuts off and then the valve opens up, so then the water drains back down, separating the circular motion of the water, but it still eventually goes back and forth. So I'm going to play a few cycles of my fountain, and I'll check in later. So as we saw through a couple of cycles of the fountain, you can see that when the frequency reaches below 500 hertz, the water is projected up a few inches into the air, and once the bottom basin runs out of water, then there's nothing to project up, so the pump continues just to shoot air. And so as I start to change the frequency to above 500 hertz, then the pump shuts off, the valve starts to turn on, which then starts draining the water back down into the bottom basin. So it's not quite a circular flowing fountain without a couple steps here and there, but I don't have to reset the water to either basin. I can switch the frequency and it starts draining down or it starts pumping up. So I'm going to let the rest of this video play out. I think I run the cycle one more time. But yeah, that is my digital electronics final project.